Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Tszyu ready to die, like Biggie Smalls, to win that Fundora rematch. Who shot you? Separate the weak from the obsolete. Them Crooklyn streets, it's on. Let me watch my language on here. Anyway, man, Tszyu is out here letting us know that he is looking for another big fight with Fundora, but not just a big fight, a mash-up, crash-up, somebody kill me type dog fight. And I just think, when I hear Tszyu talking about here looking for another dog fight, what's going on with old Tszyu, man? What's up with old Timmy boy? What's going on with him? Someone help me understand. We know Tim will fight. We know you got to kill him. You got to kill him. ADELEYE have almost accomplished that. I like Tszyu. Aussie. Oi. But I got to say, oi, Aussie. Oh, what is he thinking? But maybe that's the only way you can win a fight if you're Tszyu against a guy like Fundora. I mean, is he going to outbox him? And the first fight, Tim looked like he was doing a pretty good job of outboxing the big man. The right hand could not miss. It could not miss. Fundora's a big 6'6" southpaw and 82-inch reach or something like that. And Tszyu had the right idea, throw that right hand. And he was throwing it, and it was landing. He almost blasted the nose off of Fundora's face. Anyway, in this fight, I just think when they meet in Las Vegas later this year, I don't know why you want to go out to Las Vegas, the MGM Grand on 19th July, and that's Saturday, and be in front of fans, and put yourself back in the situation that you were in when he initially fought Fundora. Look, Fundora is not a dirty fighter, but he's so tall, he's so lanky, and he's strong. He's just like a big 6'6" razor blade. His elbows, everything are just like Ginsu's. You know what I'm saying? If they touch you, they'll cut you. And I know Tszyu, when he fought ADELEYE, if you could tell, he was worried about the cut. When he came and he fought Joey Spencer, he didn't seem to be worried too much about anything. But I just feel when he gets back in here with Fundora, he's going to start showing that some PTSD. Okay? Especially if the in close or Fundora, because look, I think Fundora's going to target the top of Tim's head. That's just me. I could be wrong, but hey, it's just a conversation. We speculate, we predict, we dialogue, right? I think he's going to target his head. Not to try to knock him out and hit him on top of the head and throw the equilibrium off. I think he's going to touch him there a few times just to put on Tim's mind, hey, remember what happened last time? I wouldn't be surprised. I know if I was coaching Fundora, I'd be, of course, trying to develop a strategy to defeat Tszyu. But part of the strategy would be the psychology. It's like, hit him on top of the head a few times. When you get into a clinch, because Fundora's so tall, rub your forearm and elbow on the top of his head. Like, I would have him do stuff like that to make Tszyu start to relive what he experienced when they fought about a year and a half ago. Anyway, man, Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora, man, are going to be the chief support of Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios, man. And I'm just telling you, if Tszyu really wants to put himself back on the map, if there was ever a card where he would be the chief support on, because Tszyu by himself, especially in Australia, he's a main event fighter, right? But if he was going to ever show up and show out, it will be on the Manny Pacquiao Barrios undercard as a chief support. Because I personally feel the whole world is going to be tuned in to see Manny Pacquiao return to the ring to scrap with Barrios. For those of you who forgot Manny Pacquiao, remember he's an 8-division world champion. Probably won't see anybody else do that again. But anyway, you just never know. But we're going to see. So Fundora was able to clip Tszyu, and it was one of those things that I think most would agree is a bloody war. And Tszyu even went on to say it was a career-defining moment, and he wants to avenge that loss. I know some people feel that Tszyu right now can get in there and beat Fundora. I think anybody can get in there and win a fight. But I just don't know if Tszyu is ready for that rematch. See, the Tszyu that fought Fundora, I've said this before. I don't think that's the same Tszyu we have today. He fought Fundora, he fought Murtazaliev and got bing-binged, badly bing-binged. And Fundora was a war. I think those two fights may have taken something out of him. But against Spence, Fundora was looking sharp, he was looking strong. Spencer, he was looking sharp, he was looking strong, and he was on a seek and destroy mission. But Spencer, let's be real, he wasn't on the level of a Tszyu. Even a Tszyu coming off of a vicious knockout by Murtazaliev. Fundora's a tough fight for anyone, man. For those of you out there who are thinking Tim is just going to go and walk through him. He's a tough fight for anyone, okay? Fundora's just a naturally tall guy. He's got God-given ability to be that tall and to fight at 154 pounds, and it's not an easy fight. You've heard multiple fighters, champions from different weight divisions who sparred Fundora, and they said, hey, he looks simple, he looks frail, but when you get in there with him, they say that guy is no joke. Everybody says, they said he hits effing hard, he's strong as shit, he's fast, and he's tall. They said it's like a nightmare fighting him. So the fact that Tszyu is letting the Aussie, oi nuts hang to jump back in for this rematch, I think it's commendable, but I don't know if this is the fight to get Tszyu back in the winner's circle. You know what I'm saying? Although he beat Spence, don't really count that fight. If he can clip Fundora, he's back in the winner's circle, and he's right back in the mix for big fights. This is the fight that counts. But Tszyu said as soon as he beat Spencer, he was like, I want Fundora. And he's been pushing for it, and he's going to get it. Okay, so what he asked for, he's going to get it. And he says when it comes to Keith Thurman, he said that story's not done yet. He still wants Thurman. So this is what I don't understand. He fights Fundora. He picks up the WBC strap, right? And then he'll fight Keith Thurman. But he went through this shit before where he was supposed to fight Keith Thurman. They give him Fundora. That's how he ended up losing. Now the talks were him and Keith Thurman fighting. Now but he's saying he wants Fundora. So if that's what he wants, then it is what it is. But I still think the secret society, I think the push is for Fundora to fight Thurman now. I'm just being honest with you. That's my opinion. But Tim is saying, hey, that's what he wants. He's telling everybody to stay in the loop because a potential super fight could be happening. Because the reality is this: is Keith Thurman a bigger name than Sebastian Fundora? He is. Who's the bigger threat to Tszyu? I don't know. I personally think Fundora is. But Fundora right now, look, he's defended his unified titles once against Chordell Booker, and then he was stripped of his WBO belt, man, when he announced a rematch with Tszyu. And now Xander Zayas and somebody else is fighting for that vacated WBO belt. You know the WBO don't be playing around. They wanted Fundora and Zayas to fight. But Tszyu seemed to be in good spirits because he joked that he's going to start looking at heavyweights in order to find sparring partners to try to replicate Fundora's height because it's just hard to find a 154-pounder that's standing 6'6". And even though Fundora's tall, everyone knows Fundora's good on the inside. Tszyu knows that too. So Tszyu is letting us know, hey, I can't just come out here, think I'm going to get past his jab, get on the inside, and that's where I'm going to have a bunch of success. He's like, no, I learned that from the first fight. Fundora can fight from the outside, from the inside. He's like, but I just think I can beat him. So that's a good thing and a bad thing for Tszyu. It's a bad thing because it doesn't matter where he's at when it comes to being inside the ring with Fundora. He doesn't have the upper hand. But it's a good thing because he recognizes the challenges that Fundora presents. And he's ready to confront those challenges head on. And they're probably going to put together a very good game plan, which you're going to see Tim probably have some really great moments. And if he lands, I'll say this. If Tszyu can land his shots, he will knock out Fundora. If Tszyu can land his shots, he'll knock out Fundora. But like he said, Fundora can fight on the inside and outside. So Tim's gonna have to be quicker. He's gonna have to be smarter. His reflexes are gonna have to be on point, and he's gonna have to really take risks. Because if he doesn't take risks, he's not going to win the fight. He's not going to win the fight. Fundora will probably get into a rhythm, and he could end up stopping Tszyu down the stretch. But so Tszyu's going to have to take risks. He's going to have to hurt Fundora, because if not, it's going to be an ugly night. Fundora's like Zepeda. Fundora's throwing goddamn 70 to 100 punches around. You know what I'm saying? But in doing so, he opens himself up. And that's why I think Tszyu's going to have to make sure his timing and his accuracy, the timing has to be, and his accuracy has to be pinpoint. Everything has to be perfect. And if he can do that, he'll be all right. And I think he'll have a lot of opportunities. Anyway, man, motivation for Tim is he broke Fundora's nose. And when you think about that, going into this fight, he knows I hurt him. It's just, the cut. But if it wasn't for that, he probably would have been out there. And even Fundora's got to sit back and say, shit, I won that fight. It was a split decision. It wasn't easy. And in this fight, I had to be smart. So I expect Fundora to stay behind that reach. Jab, jab, frustrate Tim. Tim's not going to get on the inside. And then Tim's going to get frustrated. He's going to start jumping in, getting reckless, getting anxious. And that's what Fundora's going to look to counter. But when you have a fighter like Tim, a fighter like Fundora, and you're trying to put together the right game plan to get a victory, that's a tremendous task for both teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just something that the fighters have a lot to prove, but the teams have a lot to prove. You know what I mean? They have a lot to prove. And I think often that gets overlooked because we talk so much about the fighters, but the teams have a lot to prove. You know what I'm saying? And it's not 100% guaranteed that nothing's guaranteed when it comes to these two guys. I see some of the Aussie fans are like, Tim wins this easily. Look, it's not. I know if you're from Australia, you're a Tszyu fan. I'm a Tszyu fan. I'm not from Australia, but I'm a Tszyu fan. But I'm not going to take it to the stupid because Tim's one of my favorite fighters. Or one of the fighters I enjoy watching, right? I just think I think Tim has an insatiable appetite for competition, and I have a feeling Tszyu, man, may be biting off a little more than he can chew. But I do get a little bit of a peace of mind when it comes to him, because it sounds like he knows what he's dealing with, what he has to confront, and they're going to be prepared. Anyway, if Tszyu can get them shots off like he did in the first fight and not get cut, Tszyu may beat. He's going to beat Fundora. But if Fundora stays behind that jab, stays long, make sure that he roughs up Tszyu, hits him on top of the head a few times just to make him uncomfortable and worry about that cut reopening, Tszyu can win this fight. Because I still think Fundora can win this fight. I think Tszyu still has some PTSD from that cut. I think he has some PTSD from getting hit hard by Murtazalia. But one thing we know that he has that's more important than those things that could set him back is he's got heart and he's got that Tszyu last name. And I think he's going to push through whatever impediments that's in front of him, whatever barnacles are clinging to him and bogging him down. I think he's going to be able to break through things and shake things off to try to get the victory. Anyway, keep cool. I'm rooting for Tszyu. I just think it's one of them tall tasks, man. And I don't know what direction it's gonna go in the breeze.